Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming back. Today I'm just kind of walking in the woods and cutting some firewood, looking for some stuff. And this area is sunk in years and years and years ago, like 15 years ago. I remember I looked down on the ground and there was a hole in the ground and there was water running in it. Well, the whole area has collapsed and somebody put a culvert pipe out there. But here is an Osage orange tree that is uprooted, kind of like the one I found the other day. But look at this tree. I mean, it's. I need to get closer to just see how big that is. But it's completely fallen over and uprooted here. And this tree I cut like a year or two ago, and it got hung up in the canopy. And I've been waiting for it to fall for like 2 years, and it finally fell. So I'm gonna harvest it, even though it looks terrible. Um, it's got some decent firewood in it. I mean, it's not good. It's not great wood, but I'm gonna go ahead and harvest it because nature gave it to me, and I've been waiting on it to fall forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and finally get my tree that I wanted. But it is a little bit starting to get punky, and it'll be good wood for the fall when it's not real cold, or if I want to have a fire pit fire or anything like that. I'll just throw that in my fire pit, and it gives you something to chew on when you don't want to burn your primo stuff, you know. But this right here, I found this is another just a part of an Osage orange tree that broke off and fell down, and it's actually some pretty. This is really good wood. I mean, it's only been down for a little while, and it doesn't have any bugs or anything in it. So I'm going to cut this big section of this tree up. Well, it's not big, but it's big for a branch, but it's actually kind of like a Y section of a tree. The trunk of it is over at the top left of the screen over there. I think that's the trunk of this tree, and it makes a big Y about 5 feet off the ground, and this is part of that section. But yeah, so I found this back here today, and I'm going to cut this up and have it. I mean, I always like having Osage orange around. And by the way, this is that same chain that I took the rakers down on, and it bogged down a little bit there, but I was actually getting pinched is why it did that. So it's actually cutting really good for not having pretty much any rakers at all. But I mean, I'm not recommending that people do that on a regular basis, but I'm getting ready to put a new chain on anyways, so I just ground those things down because, I mean, it's so easy to touch them with a grinder too, and it takes forever to do it with a file. So that's what I did, but it's cutting through it just fine. And I mean, I'm just going to use that chain to dig all these trees out of the dirt here, and if I hit the dirt or whatever, I don't really care. And as soon as this chain's done, I'll swap it out. So it's doing okay. This is what the woods look like right now this time of year, and when all the leaves get on the trees, it's really hard to even walk through here. I mean, all these little sapling trees that are coming up are just thick, and I mean, the leaves and everything's lashing you in the face, and there's thorns, and so I'm out here doing it now, but there's a pretty good amount of Osage orange, and but you know, you got to haul it out of here is the hard part. And I sure would like to collaborate with somebody that has land that has a bunch of trees down or dead trees or whatever. It would be nice to find somebody that you could just go cutting with and cut a bunch of trees and help somebody out at the same time. But I'm still looking. So anyways, this is back to that other dead standing tree. I have no idea what this is, and like I said, I'm just gonna harvest it. But I mean, it's kind of starting to get a little bit punky, like I said, and I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing to show. I wouldn't want to sell it to anybody, but for me, like I said, like when it's fall and you just want to have a fire and it's a 50-degree rainy night or something, but you're just getting in the mood to, be Halloween and fall and all that, it's good to have something just to chew on, just you have a bunch of wood, just throw in your light stuff and just, you can just lean on it and just throw it in the fire and enjoy your night and drink a beer and enjoy the night or the fire pit or whatever. So I went ahead and cut it up, and I'll use it and enjoy it. But if you're looking at it, I know it's not the best stuff in the world, so I'm happy to have it though. I get kind of far away from the camera here and you can't totally see everything, but I guess that's part of being a one-man show. You set up the tripod and try to get everything you can in the shot, and without adjusting it 20 times every 2 seconds, you don't get everything perfect, but you can see most of it, so did the best I could. Also see on some of those rounds, this tree had a big crack in it that ran way up the tree, and so that's part of the reason why, it got hung up, and I just didn't want to really keep cutting on it and trying to walk it down out of the canopy, because it was going to barber chair, and I was just like, ew, that's a mess. It had a big crack in it, and if I would have tried to come in with an undercut. The crack was on the top side. I mean, it would have all fallen apart, and so I left it there and was hoping a storm would blow it down, and finally it did. It finally fell. So I know that's the stump right there on the left. It looks terrible and rotten. You can see the wood. I mean, it's not completely awful, but I mean, it is not, grade A stuff. Throwing these rounds is really kind of how I get my exercise these days. Today I was actually feeling pretty bad. I mean, I was sitting around the house all day and I was getting a headache and I was just kind of feeling tired, and I really had to push myself to get outside. But for some reason I knew that if I got out and got some fresh air and got my blood pumping, that I would feel better, and sure enough I did. My headache went away. When I was using the chainsaw, I didn't feel any pain at all, and then by the time I was done, I felt great and I'm wide awake. So it was good to get outside and get some exercise. I got about a face cord of wood added to my pile today and got a bunch of splitting and stacking done, and I feel a lot better and I got some exercise, so I feel great about that. Well, this is that Osage orange branch that had fallen out of the tree. I'm splitting here, and you can see on some of the pieces, I guess that's why it fell. It looks like it had some rot in the center of it. So, but I'll take it. I'm happy to have this stuff. It's some good wood, and that looked like a nice little piece of kindling to me. It's kind of some fuzzy little stuff, so I picked that up and threw it into my kindling bucket.